The offseason is well underway, and we here at Locked On NHL Game Night are tackling the toughest questions with our favorite local experts.
Tonight, we head out to the Northwest and check in on the Calgary Flames, maybe the best team to not make the playoffs a season ago.
But what is Rasmus Andersson's future in Calgary?
We'll answer that question and so much more as we welcome Jess Belmosto on this summer edition of Locked On NHL Game Night.
When that final horn sounds, you know it's time for Locked On NHL Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before, only on Locked On NHL Game Night. Your team every day.
Hello there, hockey fans. Welcome to another episode of Locked On NHL Game Night, the season preview summer edition. I'm Cam Stuart, one of your hosts here, a sad Bruins fan, counting down the days to move back to Boston, though.
Cam, excited for you. Special here this evening. We've got a special guest, but first, I'm Tyler Feldman, a lifelong Penguins fan, born and raised in Pittsburgh, currently still loving life in Austin, Texas. Cam, there's been a lot of rain in Austin, in central Texas. Some sad news in the Hill Country, a lot of flooding, a lot of lives lost, but we are here to pick up the energy and talk some hockey. Hockey brings joy to so many people, and one of the teams that is looking to bring more joy to the NHL as we head into next season are the Calgary Flames.
Tyler anointed them the best team to not make the playoffs last year.
Hey, 96 points, 41 wins, 27 losses. They were right there, 5 points out of a playoff spot. What can they do? What do they need to do to make the playoffs here next season?
All the way there till the end. And who was there all the way? Dustin Wolf and Jess Belmosto of Locked On Flames. Jess, it's been an interesting summer for these Flames so far by what they haven't done rather than what they have done. How has this vibe been in the summer months for the Flames?
It has been counterproductive, I feel like, because I figured they would be doing a little bit more, especially, I mean, I know we'll talk about Rasmus Andersson, but just the way that the season ended with him, I kind of figured they would just do him a solid and get him out of here as soon as possible.
It looks like that's the way it's going to go. And before we talk about the move that hasn't been made yet, it's really been a swing and miss summer, I would say, for Craig Conroy. Just catch us up. They have tried for quite a few decent-sized names in a market that wasn't a great free agent market. And yet here's Craig Conroy not able to get these pieces in Calgary.
Yeah, no, that feels very on brand for the Flames. Regardless of who's at the helm, they're always in the mix, like always a bridesmaid, never a bride sort of situation. And I think, honestly, over the last 3 years, Calgary hasn't been that much of a destination. So if players don't necessarily want to go there, or if someone knows that they can swoop in with maybe a slightly more lucrative offer, I'm sure they'll do it. And unfortunately, Conroy it's still a work in progress.
So Jess, what needs to change then? What needs to happen? How do you fix the way in which you're feeling? Because right now, I want to jump through this screen and just give you a little hug because I want what's best for the Flames. And I feel like what you're saying is they're not doing enough to take that next step.
No, it's perpetual mediocrity in Calgary, unfortunately. And I honestly think the only way to kind of boost morale, especially ahead of the second to last season in the Dome, is to tank for Gavin McKenna.
And that's
by the way,
everyone's in that sweepstakes. Yeah.
Hold on, time out. Gavin McKenna, we do need to talk about this as a proud alumnus of the Pennsylvania State University. What a get for the Nittany Lions. I mean, come on. I'm
gonna give Tyler and Emily Kaplan like 2 weeks into the college hockey season before they're calling Penn State a powerhouse now.
I
don't really follow pro athletes on social media. I'm like, Gavin McKenna, that's my guy. I mean, let's go. You know, I'm really, side note, really happy for Guy Gadowski, who's been with that program since they turned Division I and has continuously built up that program. So quick round of applause. Happy for my Guy Gadowski in Penn State. Maybe the Flames do tank and try to get Gavin McKenna. Would that make you happy, Jess?
Yes, but I think that there are too many good pieces there for them to tank.
I think you might be right.
Perpetual mediocrity, just good enough.
Exactly. The mushy middle. They're fine just being the last team to squeak in. And I mean, they almost did it. They were in it until game 81 and it kind of fell apart. But, maybe if they had some more goal scoring or worse goaltending, they could get a better result.
And one of the things that is kind of interesting about the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes, which we'll talk about with several teams this year, is no one, even in a weirdly not great free agent class, the trades haven't been coming in because teams do not want to trade that first round pick next year. They saw what just happened with the Islanders and like anything can happen with this draft lottery. Like we don't want to do that. That could be one of the reasons why Rasmus Andersson is still in Calgary. To bring it back to the Flames here, like this is a guy who's looking to get out. He's kind of said that. There's been reports that he'll only go to Vegas because he wants to sign long-term there. I think Pierre LeBrun said that. Elliot Friedman said, well, no, that's not the case. He'll go somewhere else. So this has been kind of the circus of the summer, Jess. What is the latest on Flames fans feeling like we need to get this guy out of here, or what's kind of the vibe there?
I think most fans want him out before the start of the season. They are very familiar with the distractions that, big pending UFAs can cause, especially when an impending trade, is waiting to unfold. We saw it with, Elias Lindholm, Noah Hannafin, Chris Tanev, Nikita Zadorov, and I don't think they need it. They should just focus on hockey and not the outside noise.
And there should be plenty of suitors for Andersson, but like you say, the pending UFA, and if he's telling people like, oh, I'm not going to go there, and it's kind of, you said it without saying it, it's especially tough in a UFA year for the Calgary Flames after missing on an offer sheet for Bowen Byram, Haig, Lindgren, Miller, not being able to get all these deals done. And Tyler, I know you've seen this with your Penguins from time to time. Like this can cause a lot of drama, guys.
Yes. Yes, it can. And we like to build up the drama here on Locked On NHL Game Night. Sure. I do think, though, the Flames, just to your point, are in this no man's land. Like good enough to make the playoffs, but missing pieces. So where do you go from there? Where do you go? It's almost like the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like, okay, they haven't had a losing season, but like at a certain point, it's been 10 plus years. Like when do you take the risk to get the right pieces? And it seems like the Flames are stuck in quicksand.
I think honestly, ownership has to change in order for anything big like that to happen, just because they don't care about the end result. It's more of, okay, let's try to make as much money as we possibly can. The owners don't even, or one of the owners doesn't even live in the area. And yeah, he lives over in like Sweden or something. And
Tyler knows that all too well, actually.
Yeah, I mean, here we go. I mean, we've actually, Jess, we've talked about this. Cam and I have talked about this on previous shows about how the Pittsburgh Penguins, when Lemieux came and saved the team and then sold the team, Fenway Sports Group. And it's just, I've talked about this with Cam. It's felt weird. It just, there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
That disconnect can really make it challenging to connect the fans with the players, with the team, with the direction, when in reality, in those situations, it's a business. When you don't have that personal connection, and we're seeing that more and more in this current climate of professional sports where it's all about the money. I feel like I was trying to show me. I mean, it's just tough on this 3-panel. But when it comes down, when you're business first, and in the NHL, a niche sport, like sometimes you got to make money to produce. But when you just care about that money point, you get stuck in this, what are we? And that's the Flames.
It is. And like you said, it's a huge disconnect. And I feel like unless you're in the thick of it, doesn't have to be every day, but you're around it frequently enough to get the true vibe and gauge things. You aren't operating from the best point of view in standard.
It's a weird in-between time for these Calgary Flames. Like we've mentioned, they were so close to the postseason last year. And there was really one big, giant, almost entirely one-person reason why. Let's talk about Dustin Wolf. Flash in the pan or legit superstar goalie in Calgary? Let's talk about it next on Locked On NHL Game Night. But first, today's episode is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing. Whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or the high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned down at the beach. I've been using FanDuel for months now. It's a great way to make money. Even someone as dumb as me can do it. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet ride into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm a part of the action every time. And if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if that first bet wins. Let me say that again, just in case you didn't believe me. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Just open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. The FanDuel app or FanDuel.com to get started. Previewing the Calgary Flames season, Dustin Wolf was the reason why it was even close to a postseason team last year. Finally kind of gets his run, and that's putting it lightly. He plays 53 games last year, finishes second in the Calder Trophy voting, .910 save percentage, goals against average under 3, an alarmingly good 15.1 goal saved above average. Jess, I mean, you got to take me into this. What was this ride like with Dustin Wolf throughout this whole season?
It was so much fun to watch him go from so he played 18 games this season before, between Markstrom being hurt and Vladar being out, but it wasn't good. He didn't have a good start. So I'll call that his trial period. But when it was time to step up into that starting role, it was amazing. You know, for a guy who was too small and always underestimated, he showed everyone why he's capable of playing in the NHL. And I don't think that this is a one-time thing. I think that this is just who Dustin Wolf is. His resume speaks for itself, and he's going to be a big part of the Flames' future.
Look, the reality is he was selected 214th overall in the 2019 NHL draft. Not everyone needs to be Rick DiPietro, okay? And we've seen
most people shouldn't be.
Most people shouldn't
most
be.
Players, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Most players shouldn't be. Yeah.
But Wolf gives Calgary hope. When you have that confidence for a young guy, what is he, 23? 24?
23, yeah.
I think he's listed at 6 feet tall on his bio.
And that's generous.
Generous. Hey, no problem.
We all take some liberties.
Yeah, it's all
no
right.
problem with being generous, okay? But the way in which he played, when you have that guy you can trust between the pipes, that's a big stepping stone for success. You look at all the teams that are, I don't know what's going on. Where are we? There's typically an inconsistency or a concern between the pipes. And for Calgary, after the way in which we saw Wolf play, big bad Wolf, just saying. I mean, 29 of the 41 wins for Calgary. Just fantastic seeing a young guy play like that. If he takes that next step, which, Jess, you said he would, I don't know. You really can't tank when you've got a guy like that in between the pipes. Can you?
No. Him and Kadri are holding this thing up. And I'm very grateful to watch them play night in and night out. But sometimes it's a little frustrating when you want to steer them in a clear direction, but it's also like, as a fan, it's kind of like, oh yeah, we get to watch, decent hockey. The Flames aren't getting completely, shelled 6-7-0. But I think that they will never tank. They will never. I think them getting the 9th overall pick in the 2024 draft is probably as close as we're going to see them to that spot.
I also feel like, and Cam, I feel like I keep talking here, but it's hard to tank in the NHL. It just is.
Yeah.
There's just too much balance and parity across the league where you take ownership of the talented guys you have on your roster. And the reality is, who knows what this Flames team can do. Jess, you seem, I'd say 8 out of 10 concerned about the Flames next season. Is that accurate?
Yes.
10 being most concerned.
Yeah.
I think you should be less concerned.
No.
I think there's too much concern here.
No, they're directionless. I've been watching this for too long. I don't know how people have done this for 30 or 40 years. I've done it for 5.5, and I'm ready to run the show.
Let's go. I'm ready to go to battle for Jess here, Cam.
It is. I like the point you make, Tyler, in that there's definitely more teams in that mushy middle, as we're calling it, than the teams that are clear-cut doing well at the tank, right? Like that would be your Chicagos, your San Jose's. Nashville did it this year. Buffalo, I think, is trying desperately even to be in the mushy middle. They're so good at tanking without even trying to tank. But there's more of those teams that are just in the middle. And there are going to be some more this year. It's just a weird place to be. Calgary, Boston, the Rangers, the Islanders are there. They get really lucky and get the number 1 overall pick. It's a tough thing to break out of. And when you look at this Dustin Wolf thing, he could be keeping them there, like Jess is saying. And that's a weird kind of double-edged sword, right? I think the most amazing thing he did this year was he might have, for a brief moment, made Duran Duran more popular in Calgary than Nickelback, which is very, very difficult to do. I got some Flames fans who are turning it off right now that I even spoke like that. But I'm curious because I'm still wondering, is this guy going to be the flash of the pan? Jess, you feel he's not going to be. Is there something in his game that you feel like, yeah, you know what? This kid's for real. He's going to be the starter for a long time.
I think just the fact that, he's played through the adversity, the stereotypical, oh, he's too small, he can't do this, he can't do that. And just his flexibility as well. And being able to have a 9-10 save percentage with the pylons that were in front of him this season, you know what? Anything is possible.
He's already come through that adversity just playing with the Flames this year. Yeah. Shoot.
Jess, do you think this kid is capable of carrying the Flames to the playoffs? Personally, I look at the Pacific Division. I say things are kind of wide open-ish a little bit, where if Dustin Wolf has another stellar season, then this Flames team, they were right there last year.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a possibility. And the mentality that the organization has is kind of like, okay, just win and anything, or get in and anything can happen, which is very true. We've seen it, but not when you're going up against, powerhouses. It's not really, can only do so much.
Yeah. That last playoff spot, or that 4th spot, really, Pacific Division, which isn't a nailed-on playoff spot, it's pretty open. LA didn't get any better. Vancouver, there's still a ton of drama there. It'll be very interesting, the short-term and long-term future of this Flames team. Certainly Dustin Wolf will be a huge part of it. There is someone on this team who will prove to the Flames ownership that having top 10 picks can be pretty good. Let's talk about the future of that Flames blue line and their top prospect. Let's do it next on Locked On NHL Game Night.
But first, you just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Well, it's easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored jobs put your post at the top of the page and helps you reach the right candidates faster. For example, I've been in that spot where you just need the right hire. Like yesterday, I was looking to find a great co-host for this show. So what did I do? I went to Indeed. I found a guy named Cam Stuart, and boom, the pressure was on every day. Without the right person, it was a setback, and I was set way back. But that's exactly when Indeed sponsored jobs came in handy. They made sure my post was seen by the right candidates right now. And look, now I found my guy, Cam Stuart, very special. Now you can speed up your hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this very podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring Indeed is all you need.
Coming back here on Locked On NHL Game Night, Season Preview Edition. Tyler Feldman, myself, Cam Stuart, Jess Belmosto of Locked On Flames joining the show to take a look at what Calgary is going to look like. We've talked about promising prospect, not a prospect anymore, Dustin Wolf. We've talked about the blue line for the Flames, Rasmus Andersson, probably not going to be playing in Calgary this year, at least if he has any say in it. Let's combine the two. Let's talk defensemen. Let's talk prospects. Zane Parek. Okay, the number 9 overall pick in the 2024 NHL draft. He's got all kinds of comparisons. Quinn Hughes, Erik Karlsson, any great offensive defenseman of the last 10, 15 years. Zane Parek has been linked to him. Is that just hype, Jess, or do you see the vision?
I can 100% see the vision, but I'm also delusional and believe this team could be a playoff team this year. So, I do see it with Parek. I think that he is a highly skilled player that just immediately makes the Flames better. I don't know necessarily when that's going to happen, but I think, probably the sooner the better.
He's not even 20 years old, right?
No, I think he's 19.
19? There's this coffee shop in Austin called Desnudo. Big hype train around this coffee. Everyone loves this coffee. There's a lot of stuff that gets hyped up. Desnudo gets hyped up, but Desnudo delivers, okay? Not everything delivers, but when I look at Zane Parek's game, his size, what he's capable both offensively and defensively, Jess, the Calgary Flames need this guy on the blue line ASAP. Like, immediately. Bring him there. They could have probably used him last year, but again, at 19, slow your roll, okay? You let the guy develop a little bit more. I mean, I look back to when I was 19, I was still in puberty. Like, I hit it late. So this kid could still be growing. I mean, there's still a lot more there. So this is the excitement, this kind of player, Jess, where you were concerned. You said 8 out of 10, whatever. This is a guy that should lower that concern for you next season, right?
Yeah, I would say so. And I think just the Flames history with player development, like we saw with Sam Bennett, is what holds me up a little bit. Misusing players, not having them in a defined role. I mean, granted, with Parek, it's a little easier because it's right there in front of you. But if they mess it up, I just think they should fold the organization. But it's okay. All right.
Drastic.
Why expand when you can shrink?
Alberta.
Ironically, if it was Survivor, your tribe is spoken and they just up the flame.
Yep.
Cam, do you see what I did there?
I see what you did.
Yes, Cam's not as quick as everyone else, so I had to kind of explain it to him.
I need as much context as possible, please. Look at it, Parek. He's kind of in this. We're in this weird situation now where Rasmus Andersson is going to be gone. I think, as you said, Jess, most Flames fans are hoping that's the case. Get rid of that distraction, and Parek is the number 1 defenseman of the future, but it's 20 this season. Like, it's not like you just say, okay, 25 minutes a night, let's do it. Right. So that has to be like a really pressure-packed situation for this kid, knowing, it's not right now, but we are looking for the tendencies and the qualities of a number 1 defenseman sooner rather than later.
Definitely. And I think that they had him play the final game of the season last year, which I think it's special, it's important, and it was about time. But I do think he did.
There you go.
I think that the proof is
prolific scoring pace. Okay. He's on pace for 82 next year.
And I feel like if there's a risky move to take, it's allowing him true time in the NHL next season rather than just not having it. It all depends on when Andersson is traded, but I do think it'd be more beneficial for him to play at the NHL level rather than go back to the CHL.
Do you think the Flames bring up Parek before or after they raise Rasmus Andersson's number to the rafters at the Saddle Dome?
Well, anything's possible.
The Avalanche retired Ray Bork's number. So I truly believe, Jess, when she says anything is possible when it comes to that. All right, Jess, before we get you out of here, it is season preview show. So before we do, we got to get your opinion on what does a successful season look like for this Flames team? Is it record? Is it playoffs? Is it development? How do you see it?
I think it's a matter of integrating as many young players as you possibly can. They have this hope to be a playoff team, but at the end of the day, they are in a position where I believe Conroy said they're looking to be a playoff team while still rebuilding. And that's a pretty big oxymoron.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You have to pick one or the other. But I do feel like, after an aggressive first year, he was good. And last season was a little different. This offseason's been pretty quiet, swing and misses. But I do feel like he may be slightly more aggressive this year and kind of really pushing the rebuild or whatever we're calling it forward, because they have to. Otherwise, this whole plan that he supposedly has is in jeopardy.
And of course, you can catch Jess 5 days a week, man, breaking down the Calgary Flames on Locked On Flames. Definitely one of our favorite shows here on the network. And thank you guys for tuning in. We have got season previews all summer long. Tyler and I, Pacific Division, as well as the Atlantic Division. Eddie and Shukri covering the Central and the Metropolitan. We have got you covered on all 32 teams, getting you right up to the NHL season. So be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, find us on YouTube and wherever you find your podcasts as well. And until next time, we will see you on the next episode of Locked On NHL Game Night.